This podcast discusses real criminal cases. The views expressed are opinions based on publicly available information and are not intended to accuse or defame anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
Between 1988 and 1989, at least 11 women vanished on or around highways in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The victims all shared similar backgrounds, and their bodies were found in eerily consistent ways. Decades later, the New Bedford Highway Killer remains unidentified, leaving this to be one of New England's most haunting serial cases. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, here we are. We are back with another episode of The Search. My name is Mark Lewis. To my right is my co-host, Al, a.k.a. Relax Gaetano. In the back, we have Jack. In the back, we also have Pat, producer Jack, producer Pat. They are here. We are back in New Bedford, Massachusetts. We're back local.
New Bedford.
Never been down. I'm not really down there a lot.
I've never been down there.
I think I might have drove through New Bedford once. I don't know.
Even when you were doing your town reviews, you didn't go to New Bedford.
I don't think I did New Bedford. No, I did not.
You know, there's over 100,000 people in New Bedford. That's like the 9th biggest city in Massachusetts.
Would never have known that.
Port city.
Would never. It is a port city. You're right. But you know what? Used to be like a hub of the titans of industry.
Yes.
Used 100%. To be great.
So it's on the southern coast of Massachusetts near Fall River.
Yep, it's down there, Somerset and shit, right?
It used to be like the biggest whaling, they call it the whaling capital of the world, where people would go out, I'm guessing, to see whales. It's actually the entire inspiration for the book Moby Dick. Because guess who grew up in fucking New Bedford? Herman Melville.
Melville, yep.
So he grew up there, wrote the book. So Moby Dick, if you know Moby Dick, it's all because of New Bedford, Massachusetts, which
that
is wild.
Such a wild... Dude, Massachusetts really just never runs out of like random history.
I might have another crazy fact that I definitely didn't know about this.
Throw it.
Do you know that it was a huge piece of the Underground Railroad?
Nope.
And that Frederick Douglass went through there and landed in New Bedford and ended up living in New Bedford, settling down after he got up here.
Whoever let these South Coast towns run to shit, fuck you.
Yeah.
Honestly, because this should be like the Mecca of the country.
Don't you think that's crazy?
It's sick. What do you mean?
I was reading that. I was like,
you're a southern coastal Massachusetts town. Like New Bedford should be like this shining emerald of like New England. Same with Fall River, dude. Dude, if you're on the water, there is no excuse for you to suck.
Do you know that also that the Portuguese community, it's the biggest concentration of Portuguese community in the entire country.
Country, right?
It's like 40 to 50% of
like
New
Dominican,
Bedford
yeah.
and Fall River all speak Portuguese. 40 to 50% of them.
I'm pretty sure they have a Portuguese festival down there that's insane.
I'm sure it's got to be crazy.
It's got to be like the North End Feast on steroids.
Yes.
What's
a big
Anthony's.
Portuguese food?
Kielbasa. Oh no, is the kielbasa? Is that Portuguese or is that Polish?
I think it's Polish.
It might be, yeah. Okay.
We should know more about
There's another one, though.
What was the type of food there?
Huh?
What was the type of food?
It's like what's the Portuguese sausage called?
I don't know. You tell me what it's called.
You said what's the type of food?
You just said it.
Kielbasa.
I think it's just kielbasa.
I don't know. I first heard it on...
I thought he was saying it as a joke, but is that how you pronounce it?
No, I say because the guys on De Beers say it like that. They're like, Polish sausage, ditka. Like you've never seen... Whatever,
The comments are going to have to tell us. I've never heard anyone say it like
I've
that.
never heard anyone say that either.
We're going to cue in here on the late 80s.
Well, hold on. Do you know... I got one more fact.
No,
because
another
we were
fun
talking
fact?
about the Titans of Industry in New
Go ahead.
Bedford. Do you know it's the largest grossing commercial fishing port in the United States? Now, come on.
Bigger than Gloucester, bigger than anywhere
everything.
in Maryland, bigger than...
Well, it's right on the southern coast, right between the Cape and Rhode Island, so it's right
It couldn't be in a better place.
It's just
Like,
crazy.
geographically,
these are,
it's insane.
Stats.
The fact that New Bedford isn't like the best place in Massachusetts is the biggest bag fumble of all time. I'm sorry. That's insanity.
I know we're obviously like, I guess we're North Shore people in terms of like when you go too far south or too far west, we like the blinders come on.
I don't know where anything past besides Braintree. I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
I just don't know where anything is.
Yeah,
It's like
you
it's
go
a
to
different
Braintree,
state.
that's it.
Braintree, that's it.
South Shore Plaza, you're done.
Done.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
So it's like, I know that we should probably know more about Braintree with all these stats. I can't believe Frederick Douglass came up on the Underground
That's
Railroad
insane. That's insane.
and landed in New Bedford.
Wild stuff. We are, however, going to cut to the 80s, late 80s, where a series of young women vanished or were found murdered along highways outside New Bedford, Massachusetts. So this is patterns. I think this is the first real pattern-based case that we've done. Would you agree?
Yes, I think this would be the first serial in terms of...
Yeah, I don't think we've done anything else that's like...
there's this many victims, obviously.
No, yeah.
All along a couple stretches of highway. It's...
Really in not an odd place for it to be. I don't know that there's like a normal place. If you told me this was on like Route 66 in the 70s, I'd be like, oh, okay. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is like New Bedford, Mass. Like what? You know, and then we have still an unknown perp. Obviously, we only do unsolved cases. You guys know this. And we are going to start in March of 1988. You good with that?
I'm good with it.
Okay. And we're going to, the first little segment is going to go from March 8 of 88 to April of 89. So about a year, 13 months, right? How do we feel about, what's the first victim you want to talk about? Spring 88, I think we have Rochelle Clifford Dopurala.
I'm really not sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know. Forgive us if we butchered that. But Rochelle Dopurala, she was 28 at the time of her disappearance, and her body was found December 10th, 1988.
Yeah, it seems like she went missing late April 1988. Body's found, like you said, December 10th. In a gravel pit on Reed Road in Dartmouth, partially clothed, and she was beaten. She had a prior legal relationship and personal connection with someone who will come up with later, and this is the only case that actually resulted in like a formal indictment. So we'll talk.
So they pinched somebody for this.
They pinched someone for this case. Just an indictment.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Keyword indictment.
Yeah.
Then we're going to cut to Robin Lynn Rhodes, who was 29, similar ages.
Yep.
So far, we're in late 20s, obviously. She also disappeared around spring of 88, but she was found March 28th, presumably a year later, in 1989.
Right. So a lot of these girls, they're disappearing and they're finding their bodies months later. You know what I mean?
And you got to think that they found these, you have to think that they found some of these women, right? When they were quote unquote supposed to. Somebody had these people for a while.
Yeah.
And just think about it's a highway. I mean, somebody would have seen this. There's no way you're just out on the side of a highway for like 6 months.
Because a lot of the bodies, so there's different like theories, obviously, but a lot of people feel that they were actually killed pretty instantly. Some of them, and some have like because of the decomposition found.
Okay.
And when they disappeared.
So there are varying levels of decomposition
yes,
upon
varying
these
levels
people.
of decomposition. Robin was found along Route 140 in Freetown.
Okay.
She was discovered by a search dog. So I don't know if they were searching for her at that moment.
I was going to say, what was bringing her down there? I wonder.
There's multiple victims. They're all extremely similar. This is what happens with serial killers.
Got you. Okay.
She was one of the few that was actually not a sex worker. So a lot of these girls seem to be sex workers.
Sex workers, right.
Or have a drug problem, or inside the drug world and all that.
A plight of some kind.
She was addicted to heroin and cocaine and was connected socially to the other victims. So a lot of these victims you're going to find out are socially connected. Either they're friends.
Yeah, they knew each other.
A lot of them know
I hate to say the word coworker.
Yes.
But
yes.
I mean, not to sound insensitive or like I'm making a joke here, but I guess that is applicable.
The same person that gets indicted for that first murder we talked about.
Okay.
He gets indicted. His name's Kenneth Pont. We'll talk about him soon.
Yep.
She actually dated Kenneth Pont as well. And
we got another boyfriend in the mix here, huh?
Friends with Marie Santos, who we'll talk about probably soon.
Okay.
So they're all interconnected in different various ways.
Now, we're going to cut to May of 1988. Okay. Debbie Medeiros, also 29, disappears. She is then found the 3rd of July, 1988, on Route 140, strangled with her bra around her neck.
Correct.
Now, is this when the, sort of like a posing theme starts, or some kind of
So they think she was just strangled with the bra, which is kind of wild. So they think that they took the bra, went around her neck, and that's how she got strangled.
That's a different one.
She was last seen in New Bedford after like a fight.
Like a boxing match?
No, like an actual fight. She had fight with friends.
Oh, okay.
Friends or like fighting other people.
It's such a.
She was severe. She was one of the more severely decomposed people. She was lying on her back. The bra was around her neck. And they said strangulation was the cause of death, so she was definitely strangled.
So she clearly had some kind of laceration around her neck. It wasn't just put
Well,
there.
they could tell.
Look.
They could tell she was strangled.
And then we're going to Debbie Lynn McConnell, 25 years old. She also disappeared in May. Now, does it look like to you guys that this person is doing like 2 a month? Is that kind of what we're like looking at here?
Yeah,
where it's like
at least
every bi-weekly. I don't know how you would call this.
Some more popular than others, it seems like.
I guess so. Yeah. She disappears after May, but she's not found until December 1st of 88.
Correct. And Deborah was also found off Route 140, northbound in Freetown by a cadaver dog. So again, they're starting to search these woods.
Where are the dogs coming in? Like, is there anything by police where they're...
At this point, like, they've already had a body that disappeared in May. They already found one in July, December. So they're starting to search the woods. It seems like they're periodically searching the woods because they keep finding people. And she was found nude. She was also found nude with a bra wrapped around her neck.
So this guy is like... It looks like this guy to me... Whoever this person is almost going with like a theme for each and like moving in twos. Like, does that make any sense? Like, clearly this bra thing is the theme for these two. Their fucking names are even both Debbie. Like,
that's a good point.
Like, yeah. I mean,
yes.
There's clearly got to be some kind of like.
Yeah. So I guess the question is the suspect taking them, holding them for a little bit, and then dumping them, then getting a new girl? Or is he doing it right away and then
Buffalo Bill style,
and then waiting a little bit for his next victim?
Okay.
I don't know. That's tough to tell.
Then we are going to move to late May. You good if we move to late May into June of 88? Christina Montero. Seems like the youngest one out of this whole group, 19 years old. She disappears, but she has never been found.
Correct. She's one of the two that have never been found.
And we are coming in here again with the theme that is happening in twos here. The next victim that disappeared around the same time, Marilyn Cardoza Roberts, who's 34, the oldest victim that we have to this point, disappears. She also is not found.
So
this guy is clearly going for a different, dare I say, theme.
Or they just never found those two bodies. Like or maybe at a different dump site for those two.
But hold on. Yes, I do like subscribe to your like hypothesis here. I do. This guy clearly, what do you think? He just got that much better at it by the,
no,
like in other words,
I think he wanted them to be found.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So I don't know what happened here. Did he try to switch things up?
This is what I'm saying. Is he trying to challenge himself in new ways? Is he getting bored? Does he want to do something different? But then at the end of the day, it's like, why would you do that now?
Right.
When you're, I hate to say this, 6 victims into your streak, not to sound insensitive, but you're like clearly doing this.
Right.
And you have been for a while now. One person is insane enough. You're on person number 6 and 7 and 8. So it's like, now... do you have anything else to add there?
Nope.
No, any nook and cranny. We are going to move to, are you good with July 1988? This is where it seems like shit kind of...
This is one of the busier months.
This is a busy month.
Yeah.
This is a busy month. July 7th, we have Nancy Lee Paiva. She disappears. Her body is found in her body is found July 30th. So fairly, you would presume soon.
Yeah, so
like within the same month.
Yeah, so she's walking home from a bar, it's called Whispers Pub, on July 7th. The
I-195?
Yep.
Right? Okay.
No, it's not on I-195. The body's found.
Oh, she's found on I-195. Okay, guys,
July
sorry.
30th, beside I-95, I-195. Sorry, nude, lying on her back with her feet toward the highway. And possibly strangled. So it was definitely, it seems with the feet towards the highway, seems like that was placed. with the way that they say
What
that.
does strangulation tell you? Can somebody pull up like a forensic profile? Is that wanting to feel the life slip away from the victim?
I think it's a crime of passion, right?
I don't know what qualifies that. I'm saying if you're stabbing somebody to death, you're just looking to just inflict pain, and clearly it almost feels like you're angry.
Yeah, so okay.
The strangulation thing feels more like a power thing to me. Jack has something.
It says it's personal and intimate. Emotional intensity is involved, domestic violence link, but it says it's not automatically a crime of passion, so to say.
Okay.
Is crime of passion more motive based? Not to correct you.
I'm
just saying,
no,
like,
I think crime of passion is in the heat of the moment, maybe.
like in other words, if fucking a guy, we use it for a guy we know, Mike Romano, shot the kids that shot his son by accident.
Okay.
So I think a crime of passion has to be like spontaneously emotionally motivated.
Yeah, so I guess, yes, this would be the exact opposite, I would assume.
Right, like if somebody went and hit my father in the back of the head and I shot the person, that's a crime
Right.
of passion, right?
It's almost like you're reacting
Bingo.
on the point.
Right, so this person, from what it sounds like to me profile-wise, not that I'm a forensic fucking pathologist or whatever, this dude clearly has some type of, what would you say, parasocial connection to sex workers,
Yeah,
but
I think this,
also clearly a disdain. Like enough to be around them as much as he is.
right. Maybe he has like a mother issue.
But like at the end of the day, it's like, I know this is the late fucking 80s, but you got to think like after like 2 or 3 girls disappear and they all kind of know each other.
This is my point.
You
They
think
do
somebody
all know
would have
each
been
other.
like, who did you see her with? Like, who was she working with that night? Did this same guy come pick her up?
Right.
You would have thought somebody would have said something. But then again, it's a sex worker world. It's the 80s. It's way different.
There's drugs involved.
Drugs are involved. So now we're going to cut to, if you're a good, July 11th. Debbie Greenlaw DeMello, age 35. She disappears. Her body is found November 8th, 1988. Again, off I-195 with Nancy Piva's personal items nearby.
Correct.
So what is that telling you?
All right, so she's last seen on the 11th. She, I'm going to use a word that you love to use. While she absconded from a work release program. I know you love the word absconded.
Okay.
She's found on November 8th near the Reed Road ramp, which we've heard in other
Say that
places.
3 times fast.
Reed
The
Road
ramp.
Nude clothing is in branches, so her clothes are up in the branches, but Nancy Piva's clothes and belongings are by the body. So they find Nancy Piva's clothes and her clothes are all scattered up in the branches, like someone threw them up there or something.
Like a frat prank or some shit like that. Like
Got
when
no
guys
clue.
do like a
This
panty
is
raid or
one
whatever
that's
the
like,
fuck.
it's obviously weird that, these two.
So that goes to my theory of this guy is doing this in like pairs.
Right,
Okay.
I guess. I don't know Piers because this month.
Well,
seems
no,
like
now
he
we
just-
got a third. So he
Yes,
was, and now
yeah.
he's up, and now he's up in the
Right.
game a little bit. So now we're gonna cut to July 16th. Mary Rose Santos, age 26, disappears. She is found March 31st of 89 on Route 88. So now we switched the highway up a little bit.
He's switching the highway.
How many
up.
times did he switch the highway up? Is this the third time?
I think this is the 4th time.
Is it the 4th time?
There's a couple I-95s, I-195. I keep saying I-95.
Okay.
Route 140. So that's
Yep.
so there's 3 Route 140s.
Yep.
Well, and then there's a gravel pit on Reed Road. So Reed Road ramp, I would assume, is close to that. So that
Yep.
we're gonna call an I-95 as well. So I-195, sorry.
Yep.
2 140s, 3 140s. Then he goes to another 2 to I-195s. And now he's on Route 88 in Westport.
Okay.
Nude found beside a beer bottle. Ponte has also had been represented and helped her husband. So this is Ponte. This is the guy that we
on,
talked
Ponte.
about. Kenneth Ponte. We talked about that suspect
Yeah,
that dated one of them. He had represented her in a case because he was a lawyer, and he helped her husband create missing person flyers after she was found missing. So
And then
that's-
he.
well,
Okay.
we don't know for a fact that he did it.
Right,
Or-
okay.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we're trying to get into a point. Like I want to get that out there that he has a connection to a few of these girls.
Okay, got you. And Again, makes sense. He's a lawyer. He's got money.
Yeah. The way that she disappeared, she was dropped off at a bus station, and then she just disappeared pretty much from there by the husband. So that's
Are you good that we move to August?
Yes.
August. This is August into September of 1988, if you're following along. August 11th, Sandra Botello, age 24, disappeared. She is found April 24th, 1989, near, again, I-95 in the fetal, I-195 in the fetal position.
Yeah, so in the fetal position, it's different because one's laid out. A couple of them are laid out. She was 24 when she disappeared. She disappeared from her apartment. So she was actually in her apartment when she disappeared.
Oh, that's
and her
wild.
Remains were found months later. So she was found on April 24th, which is like 6 months.
Yeah.
8 months.
About
8
that.
months later, in the wooded area, she was discovered nude in a fetal state, consistent with the disposal pattern of other victims. So some others ones are actually in the fetal position.
Okay.
And she's considered the last victim found, not the last victim killed, but the last victim found, meaning like she's found the latest, April 24th.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they're considering this like the end.
Yes, because then you have Dawn Mendez, September 4th is the last one, age 25. She disappears, but her body is found November 29th of 1988. So that checks out with what you're talking about, right?
Also, she's found on the Reed ramp of I-195. You'd think they just throw a cop.
Somebody,
on
you think
Reed
they
ramp.
would be like, yo, can we run a detail?
Just
Anybody
want
to run
on
a
the
traffic
Reed
thing?
ramp.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I mean, they didn't have cameras back then, but throw something there. Let's get some lookouts
But
on
even
the Reed
still,
ramp.
I would be like, can we like run a detail? Like, anybody want to do a, what do they call it?
I got to go look at this Reed ramp. I want to see like
A speed trap? Yes, something,
I
anything
got to
like
go
that?
get eyes on the Reed ramp. Skeletonized remains, and there was
Oh, wow.
skeletonized remains, yep. But they did get a fingerprint, so they must have had some type of fingerprint of her fingerprint. That's how she was identified. So there had to be some partial skin still on the skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to move to this is kind of where we've covered all the victims.
We've covered all the victims.
All the victims, and obviously, like, producer Pat just leaned into the mic. He has something to say.
No, I was just going to say that they did increase the police presence on these highways, especially where the bodies were found. But a huge piece of this was, from everything I've listened to, the drug use. And It was just the big criticism is they didn't act fast enough. So classic in a lot of these cases that we're listening to. But I think a huge piece of that was they're known drug users. They probably disappeared for a little bit, and then all of a sudden 6 months goes by, and then
I think police, honest to God, you're seeing more of this back in the day, prioritize things just so differently.
Well, you gotta kind of, they're drug users. They don't have a lot of some of them are estranged from their family.
Right.
So they're known to disappear to the family that is around.
Technically, also, they are criminals.
Well, yes,
I mean,
they're sex workers.
prostitution's
Yep.
illegal.
So they are known to be going with different people
Right,
as well.
I get that. And I'm just saying the whole, like, not that I think it's, should you do time for being a hooker? No. I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck. But
It's
like,
a service, I guess.
It's a service, whatever. But, like, technically, you could be like, no, these are criminals, and they're participating in criminal activity.
Yeah.
So we're not going to...
Yeah, they're looked down upon, and that's the bad way to put it. But I think that they do get prioritized by a police department.
Right. Or you mean deprioritized.
Deprioritized,
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah, not to correct you. Sorry. So now we're going to get into like sort of where the investigation begins. Suspects start being gathered. The victims obviously are all located near highways, and the positioning did suggest that this was a single offender. This was not more
Because
than
most of
one
the crime
individual.
scenes all line up.
Yeah.
Some fetal, some laid out. A couple that disappeared, all pretty much in the same area. So they're thinking in their head like it's got to be one person.
So now the suspects, I'm seeing three. We have Anthony DeGrazia, who was a construction worker and later died suspiciously. I didn't get the full. I figured you
Yep,
would.
I'm gonna get to that. We'll get to that after.
Get to that after?
Yep.
Then we got Kenny Ponte, who was an attorney. His charges were dropped.
Yep.
And then we have Daniel Tavares, who was linked to a burial site.
Yes. So Kenneth Ponte, let's go to him because
Start with Kenny Ponte.
We've mentioned him a few times. So let's
Yes,
start
lead with
him,
this.
right?
Yep.
He actually was a former drug user. He was addicted to heroin at one point. He gets arrested. This is back in the day. Let's say he's like 19 years old. He's young. He ends up cleaning up his life, goes to law school, becomes an attorney and a deputy sheriff. So he's kind of a respected person in the community at the time.
Damn. Fucking 180.
He's a very intelligent guy, but he seems very erratic. That's how people call him, like very erratic, aloof.
Well, that's kind of his addict
yes
mentality still, right?
He ends up later on, after he's the sheriff and after he's the lawyer, getting back into cocaine, gets addicted to cocaine, is
relapses,
doing drugs, pretty much. So he's tied socially to a lot of the same circles that these girls are because they're into the drug thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's frequent sex workers as well. So how's he connected to these victims? We already went through a few things. He represented several women legally. So several of these women, he was their lawyer. Rochelle Dobriala, Mary Rose Santos, and Nancy Paiva. He represented them as lawyers. Some of the victims even stayed at his house. Deborah Medeiros and Dawn Mendez. One victim, Robin Rhodes, also he dated. So he has connections to like almost all the victims.
This guy, I hate to say it, this guy loved hookers.
Yeah, he's one of the only people.
I'm not saying it like funny. Clearly, this guy had like an affinity. Some guys love strippers. Some guys love hookers.
He's living a fast life. He's probably making a little bit of money. He's an attorney, deputy sheriff, so he has badges and shit too. So
some kind of immunity, some kind of protection.
Right, but he's not like a sheriff that goes around. He's more like he serves papers type of sheriff. Like like they'll go in a constable type thing is the way I'm taking it. Like he'll go knock on the door, serve them. That type of sheriff. He's not like a cop walking the beat. He's one of the only people with ties to multiple victims. Like some of them, do have ties to the other ones, but he's one of the few. He actually gets indicted August 1990. He gets indicted for the murder of Rochelle Dobriala. We're gonna have to say her name 20 times. So, that was the one that was beaten to death, not strangled.
Got you.
The theory was that Dobriala may have threatened to expose Ponce's drug use because it would probably lose him the lawyer, get him disbarred, and probably lose the deputy sheriff. Right? He pled not guilty and was released on bail. But by July 1991, so a year later, prosecutors dropped the case altogether, said there's not enough evidence. He was uncooperative the whole entire time with police questioning, obviously. Obviously, he's a lawyer. He probably was just like, I'm not speaking, I plead the fifth type thing, but he was very uncooperative at all. They said he was known for paranoid and controlling behavior. He wouldn't let women leave his house. So, like, some of these sex workers were like, he was like, wouldn't let us leave,
Well, you see in this
He's partying with
timelines
them,
of
though,
when,
too.
it's like you're seeing this with timelines of when bodies appear or when they, comparatively to when they go missing and shit. So there's clearly something there.
There's something there. And basically, he moves to Florida almost immediately after he feels like he's a suspect. But then he later returns to New Bedford after everything gets dropped on that first thing. He moves back. In 2009, they actually excavate one of his former properties, looking for a body or something. Maybe those two girls that they
never were found, right? Or remains of any kind.
No evidence was found. There was nothing. And a lot of these girls were actually missing certain things. So, because you know what they say about serial killers, they like to take
a
tokens,
trophy of whatever token,
a trophy like that. They didn't find anything like that. He dies in 2010, so even if it was Kenneth Ponce, there'll be no
We
justice.
have yet another dead suspect, which is
no
continues
foul
to keep
play
coming up.
expected with this one.
Yep.
Seemed to just die of old age, or I think actually he might have died. They might have think of an overdose, so he might have like in his 60s died.
How poetic.
Yeah. Despite being a key suspect, he's never been linked with any hard evidence besides his familiarity with the victims.
Gotcha.
But there's no evidence otherwise.
So this was just the common denominator social connection, really?
Yeah, the problem is it's like there's like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
So,
and if this was like your crew of girls that you worked with often, whether it's legally or illegally, you got to think, was it your intention the entire time to just clip one of them one by one?
Maybe,
like, I don't know what the fuck.
Who knows? They said he was basically using a lot of these girls to buy him drugs because he was a respected community member. He couldn't go to these dealers and buy them himself for the most part, or didn't want to be seen buying them, so he'd use some of these girls, hire them, come back to my house, party, you can't leave type thing. I'm a deputy sheriff. That's basically
Right.
the whole rundown of how that goes.
I feel like there was a lot of blackmail opportunities
this
here
guy
on
seems
both
like
both sides, though. On both sides.
Right. And that could have got.
And when
maybe
that gets,
got
listen,
that
when
Rochelle.
you start fucking sword fighting with that shit, dude, somebody's gonna get desperate and do something stupid. But at the same time, if it was Kenneth Ponte, right? Kenny Ponte, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Pont.
Pont.
It's fine.
Pont.
Pont.
Are you sitting there like it's back and forth, and like, are you that paranoid where you're like, now I got to get rid of this one? Now I got to get rid of this one.
I will say
now
one
I got to
thing.
get rid of this one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure cocaine can make you paranoid.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, especially if you're doing it as a long user, staying up late nights, probably not sleeping very well.
Birds are chirping before you know what's going on.
I think that
Another guy shows up with another bag. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's Kenneth Pont.
That's Kenny P.
So Anthony DeGrazia.
Anthony DeGrazia, yes.
Sounds like an Irish fella.
Yeah.
26-year-old construction worker at the time. He was already known. He was known to authorities that he loved sex workers, loved to go get a prostitute. He was known very well with them.
Was he ever booked for it? Like they got him and like, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha,
He was described as having a boxer-like build, and like a flat nose. So just picture like, to me, I'm thinking like
Popeye.
a short, stocky construction Italian guy. That's what I'm
Yep.
thinking. Like 100 of them.
Yep.
Union guy. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
In 1989, a local sex worker named Margaret Medeiros was a victim of violence, like a violent attack in Weld Square of New Bedford. Was shown a photograph of DeGrazia, and she said it looked exactly like the man who choked her out and attacked her. So
This just randomly out of nowhere? Like this guy just like trying to fucking
I
attack
think he
her?
was just attacking all his sex workers, pretty much. He's a
Okay,
violence
okay.
towards the sex workers.
Yep.
He was indicted by Ronald Pena, who was the DA at the time, on 17 counts of attempted rape and assault against multiple sex workers in the area.
So this guy should have been euthanized, to put it politely, probably long before.
Correct.
You clearly see sex workers as something beneath you, like an object,
Right.
like an expendable
Yeah.
toy in a way to
He was
just
a violent, predatory.
psycho.
Yes.
This guy clearly was, yeah.
On July 27th, 1991, shortly after he was considered one of the prime suspects, because then they get off Pont. Oh, we don't have enough. They already dropped the case on Pont. They stop putting their eyes on DeGrazia because he already has that, like, he's already been beating the shit out of these women.
And
raping them.
violently, sexually attacking them. Yes.
He's found dead. Now he's just found dead. He's face down under a picnic table in the yard of his ex-girlfriend.
What?
In his ex-girlfriend's parents' house in Freetown, just under the table, and his death gets ruled a suicide. The autopsy suggests, and is written on it, that they think it's a homicide, not a self-inflicted death. The police are like, nope, it's a suicide. He killed himself. They kind of just brush it out. He killed himself. We think it's a suicide.
How?
Forget about the autopsy.
How do you end up under a picnic table after you off yourself?
Doesn't make sense, right? His family then files a lawsuit that he didn't take his own life. He had to have been killed.
Well, these people are fucking...
And but they're just like, nope, it's probably because the investigation was closing in. He killed himself. Maureen Boyle, she writes that book, Shallow Graves.
Right.
If you have time, read it. It's basically all about this hunt for the new killer, the New Bedford Highway serial killer. She described DeGrazia as like the archetype of like a serial killer. The violence, he has a predilection. I don't even know if that's a word, if that's the right word in this, towards sex workers.
Predisposition.
Predisposition towards violence,
Right.
towards sex workers. He was a loner. He had a troubled, abusive upbringing.
Yep.
And he was capable of blending like charm with violence. So a lot of like killers, like they can still charm somebody, like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yep.
All those people.
Ted Bundy. Yep.
Yes. By day, he served in the Catholic Church. Like he worked in the Catholic Church, volunteers and shit like that. By night, he preyed on the sex workers. So he was kind of like
Jesus
that
fucking
yin and
Christ.
yang thing. Where
Did you ever do time for any of this?
I don't think he did time. I think once they.
I mean, how many times are you gonna let this guy fucking scot-free off?
I just think he dies before he gets tried.
Oh,
for
maybe that's
anything.
it then. If
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
case, yeah.
I think he just ends up, either killing himself or getting killed somehow when an investigation is closing in.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then we have Daniel Tavares.
Yes.
What do you got on this guy?
Daniel Tavares. Okay. So he lived in New Bedford. Obviously during the same time period of these murders. He had to have, right? Someone close. While he was incarcerated for murdering his mother. So he already fucking killed his mother.
Oh, so
He
capable.
Yeah, very capable.
Capable. Yeah, okay.
He sends a letter to the prison staff
here we
member
go.
that implied, so he doesn't outright say it, but he implied that he was responsible for the highway killings. Now, is this just some guy, a prisoner, trying to make himself look better?
This is like this. So what this
Where
is
they,
is
like some people try to say that
this
they've
is
done
like
more
the
than
prisoner
they did.
version of the false tip.
Ye-
I mean, it literally is, but like at the same time, it's like when you hear people calling in false tips, it's like that's what some of these guys do, just for like whether it's attention, to try and make themselves look more legit in the eyes of the other psychopaths that they are in jail with.
Yeah.
So this guy to me sounds like definitely a scumbag, piece of shit, the least likely of the three, in my opinion. May I pose a theory? Unless you have something.
I have a little more on him.
Throw it at me.
Just to give a little bit of maybe to back up the situation that he's even more capable.
Mm-hmm.
He actually, in this time where he's admitting to that, he admits that he knows where this lady, Gail Botello, who's a woman who could be involved in sex trafficking, not sex work, was missing since 1988. He knows where she's buried. Her remains were discovered buried in the backyard of Tavares' former residence. So, you were saying that he had some burial site. He knew where some of the burial sites were.
This is
they're
what they meant
talking
by
about.
that, okay.
It was just a mile from his home, and in 2015, they actually convict him of that murder. So they
Okay.
convict him of that murder,
Yep.
and firmly establishing that he's capable of it and his proximity to the rest of it because it's all close.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, so he actually stabbed his mother to death. And he also, which is crazy. So in 1991, I don't mean to laugh, but this is where you talk about how do these people keep getting out? In 1991, he kills his mother. In 2007, he gets found guilty of killing his neighbors in Washington State. So he gets out after he kills his mother, stabs his mother to death, gets out on some type of parole, on a good behavior or something, kills 2 people in 2007.
What?
I don't know how this happens where there's gaps and cracks into this. You would think a murderer just goes away. Nope, he gets out in 2007. Then he gets reconvicted. Then he gets convicted in 2015. So he goes back to jail. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Or it might be running concurrently with the 2007
Sure.
because he got both of those. But to get out 1991, if they just kept him in there, those 2 people in Washington State are still alive.
Yep.
So just shows you that
Did people go to jail for anything before 2008?
No one goes to jail
Did
anymore.
anybody go to jail for anything?
No one goes to jail
yeah,
anymore.
I don't get it. Are we in theory mode right now?
Yes.
Is there anything anybody wants to add really quick? Because I think I got something interesting. What are the odds that DeGrazia and Kenneth Ponte were in cahoots and protecting one another? Does anybody think that might be something here?
I know there's no. You would like to say, okay, well, listen, they both like sex workers.
Yeah.
They do say that DeGrazia is a loner. So would he be capable of working with somebody
someone else? Maybe not.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
I'm just trying to say the
who
death-
killed him.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm sitting here if somebody offed this guy, are we dealing with again another guy that's listen, buddy, we've been in on this together for years now, or if something gets weird, I'm flipping on you, I'm going to the cops, yada yada. Ponte's fuck this guy, I'm taking him out before he squawks. I'm just trying to say, is that possible?
Here's why I don't like DeGrazia. I'll tell you why. I think that this level of sophistication with the kills and not a lot of evidence, it leads to me to be it got to be some type of intelligent person. The way they're describing DeGrazia,
Fair, very fair.
is that he's this
A stabber, like I said in the beginning of this thing, with the shank,
like a brute. He's just a brute type of fucking guy. Yeah, he's raped a lot of women, it seems like, and he does have violent tendencies. I don't know if he could Like all those women that he did that to, he never succeeded in murdering those women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person did it, and the bodies aren't found till months later on the side of highways. How do you miss bodies on the side of highways? You know what I mean? So I think
that's the other thing is, like, I don't know how. Again, I know highways weren't what they are now. There was less cars on the road in theory, less people in theory.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like it's the same.
Again, we're not talking a small town up in Vermont.
No.
We're talking a pretty big city, one of the top 10 cities in Massachusetts.
Yeah. In New England, really.
And you're talking major highways.
Yeah. This isn't some fucking podunk.
This is an interstate.
Yes.
It goes between states. That's what that means,
yeah,
right?
Right,
So
of course, yeah.
That's a big road.
Al, what do you have for a theory?
Well, we still got some more stuff to go
through. We do.
Yeah.
We do. Oh, I didn't know if I wish you said that. I wouldn't have dropped theories yet. I didn't even know that.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to just touch up on a few things.
No. I have everything. I have everything on my end. I didn't know that you had a couple more things. Sorry.
Okay, so there's this theory that there's possible ties to the Portuguese serial killer, the Lisbon Ripper.
The Lisbon Ripper, yeah.
Lisbon, right?
Right.
So, like we said earlier, New Bedford, very high Portuguese community. Mm-hmm. Right?
Sure.
High saturation, a lot of Portuguese people there. Over 50% of the population speaks Portuguese. The population
is awesome. Wow, holy shit.
So let me give you a little background on the Lisbon Ripper. Lisbon Ripper is an unidentified serial killer that terrorized Lisbon, Portugal in the early 1990s. So between 1992 and 1993, at least 3 young women, all sex workers, all named Maria, were murdered.
That's the Maria thing's crazy. Unless every girl in Portugal is named Maria.
I think Maria is a pretty common Portuguese name.
Maybe it is.
I think it's a very common, like, Latin name in general.
Yeah, whether it's Italian, Spanish, or Portuguese.
Yes. The Romance languages love Maria.
The Romance languages love Maria. Maria.
The victims were first strangled, so they were strangled, and they were brutally mutilated. So this person actually started to cut them up.
Okay.
With their abdomens cut open and organs removed. So the gruesome method, they like to kind of go back to Jack the Ripper.
Sure.
So that's why they call him the Lisbon Ripper. They kind of, you know, but they had signs of like...
It's Jack the Ripper with a tan.
Yeah, anatomical precision. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I think we've went over that in another case. We might have or might have not. That could be the doctor relation to it.
The Dahlia.
The Dahlia. That's
the Black
right.
Dahlia.
Yeah,
I don't know if you didn't want to spoil, but then again,
Yeah.
it's going to be out before this one anyways.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So, so why are we linking them up? Well, think about it. New Bedford Highway Killers from 88 to 89. Meanwhile, the Lisbon Ripper is 92 to 93.
A guy could have.
Right.
Wait, no. What's the word? What? Guy could have. You said it earlier.
Emigrated.
Absconded.
Right.
To Portugal.
Okay, so the Lisbon Ripper, there by strangulation, disembowelment. Okay, so this is interesting because I made note to mention this. They think he was disemboweled with a non-knife instrument.
Who?
The police in the Lisbon Ripper, that when they disemboweled, they did it with a non-knife instrument. So I don't know what that is.
You're talking about the Lisbon Ripper victims.
The Lisbon Ripper.
I'm sorry, you said him. I think you said him, and it threw me the fuck off for a second. I apologize. Sorry.
I know we're always assuming these are guys because it tends to always be guys. Obviously.
Well, yeah, right.
But so if I say him, it's really the
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, sorry. What was I gonna? So a non-surgical instrument.
A non-knife instrument.
A non-knife. What is that? What else can you cut with if it's not a knife?
I know.
Does
you consider a saw?
Does a saw count as a knife?
I think it's
is a knife anything you can cut something with?
Well, okay, so maybe it's something sharp. Maybe it's a piece of
glass,
right? A non-knife.
I mean, dude,
when I first
you
read
gotta
it,
have the perfect piece of fucking glass.
When I first read it, I thought, I'm thinking like a scalpel. You slice a person open with a scalpel. But then when you read it's a non-knife, it's like, I got no
Wait a minute,
clue
I got nothing. Yeah.
Is this a red herring? It's probably a red herring.
I don't know. Because the non-surgical instrument or non-knife, a saw has to be a knife. They do the same thing. It's a serrated knife. You think about a saw, do you know what a saw actually is? I'm going to put it to you this way, in a weird way. It's a big butter knife.
Well, or a steak knife.
Steak knife.
Yeah.
right?
Or a bread knife.
Or bread knife. It's a big serrated edge.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that. I don't know. That feels like it would be a knife instrument. I don't know. Okay.
You would also be able to tell on like the cut if it was a serrated edge.
Yeah, you would think they would say that.
100%.
Well, let's move on from that.
Sure.
Because so basically, the victim profiles, they match up. They're sex workers.
Essentially, yeah. Like profile wise, yeah.
The girls that were killed, a lot of them were Portuguese, obviously. In New Bedford. The ones in Portugal, obviously Portuguese. So in March 1993, authorities do something crazy. They actually send 2 Portuguese police down to New Bedford, and they dispatch FBI agents to Lisbon to try to see if there's some type of information. So they exchange information pretty much to try to see if there's any connection. So one of the hypotheses is that the killer might have been part of the Portuguese community in New Bedford and then returned to Portugal and just resumed killing afterwards. So like that makes sense. Like go back to your home country. And it's like,
I mean,
who's
it's one
the guy
thing.
from The Sopranos? The hitman.
Furio, yeah.
Furio goes back. He does the killings. Then he goes back to Italy.
Dude, the fucking Godfather.
The Godfather, exactly.
I mean, it's one thing to love your country. It's a different thing to travel international waters to continue killing people in your own ethnicity and race.
I don't think it's something. I don't think it's just something like you just get over. Like it's a very like most serial killers either don't stop. Those are like special ones. You know what I mean? I would say where they stop killing after a certain number. You know what I mean?
You would think there's no off switch with that,
there's no
right?
off switch because it's some type of need they have inside them, which is some crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing.
Right. Some itch you got to scratch.
Yeah. So that's one of the theories there. Then there's a long truck hauler theory, pretty much that they don't know if the
trucker thing again. Like, dude,
well,
come on.
It's on a highway.
I know, but I feel like the trucker thing is so fucking the easiest low hanging fruit. Like, could have been a trucker. Like,
well, yeah, because I guess there's obviously long haul truck drivers in Lisbon, Portugal. You know what I mean? So they're trying to link these two things. But there's differences in the crime scenes, right? In victim treatment.
There is difference in the victim treatment, like substantially too.
The
like
disembowelment, it
is
adds
crazy.
A
Whole nother level.
And I don't think there was any Marias in New Bedford.
Not one. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Which also would explain this guy leaving because he's like, dude, I'm looking for a fucking Maria and I can't find one. So he's like, fuck this. I'm going to Portugal.
There had to be Marias around.
Yeah,
there had to be Marias in Portugal. So basically, like. The investigation just kind of teeters off. They don't really put any more interest into it. They can't make any like hard concrete connection between the two. But both things are still unsolved. Both New Bedford and the Lisbon Ripper completely unsolved. So it's another thing over there. Same shit that they can't figure it out either. How this person did it.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe this guy left New Bedford and was like, "Fuck it, I'm going up a notch." Like I'm
turning it up.
I'm turning it up a notch, maybe. And
But how do you? Okay, so most of these girls were strangled, right?
That's what it sounds like, right?
How do you turn into like all of a sudden anatomy?
You don't.
So that's to
what
me,
I mean.
like
you don't.
And then
you don't go from strangling people to being like Mr. Surgeon with your knife. Like, no.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. So it's like, I think this is like a weird coinky-dink.
Yeah. I think the only thing it's just because there's a lot of Portuguese people in New Bedford.
Right.
It's basically the Portugal capital of the United States.
Besides, I think Fall River.
Yeah, it's both of those together because they're pretty close
together, right? Yeah. Did you have anything else you want to add there? Excuse me for yawning. Boys, do we have a theory here?
Yeah, I think those are both ridiculous. The ones for the Portugal and the truck driver one. Those don't.
They seem very far-fetched.
Very far-fetched.
I wouldn't even. Could you like? Do we even consider the truck driver thing a theory of anything at this point? Because it's just like you said, it's like the throw the broad net out, low-hanging fruit theory, and it's like, okay.
Well, so here's what they say about long-haul truck drivers, right? And there's all these, there's jokes. There's all types of movies. Where do prostitutes go? They go to a lot of truck stops. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's an easy way. They're away from their family for long periods of time. A lot of truck drivers do engage in prostitution. Not all of them, obviously.
Right.
But it is a hotbed.
It's a
Truck
thing, yeah.
stops are a hotbed for prostitution.
No, it is a thing. It
so
is.
that's where they're coming from. Like, and there's also been cases where truck drivers have murdered prostitutes
Oh, yeah, of course.
at truck stops. So
Right. Pat, you're just out on both the truck driver
I think I'm
theory.
out on both too.
I'm out on both of those.
I do love the idea that this guy like went across the ocean. Like that's like such like a crazy thing. Like obviously that's like a crazy movie idea.
Yeah, it's Sopranos. You nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
no, I do not think that happened either.
The reason I don't think that happened is there was so many connections with these girls. They knew each other. They worked
Right.
together. They were in the same areas. There was a ton of connection. The one piece that you touched on, but the thing with Ponte, they did dig up his yard. They also dug up concrete in another property that he was linked to, looking for not only bodies, but like tapes. Allegedly, there were tapes that there was some of this was filmed. And so there was a lot of smoke around him. So if I had to, there just seemed like there was a lot going on. He was very capable. He knew them. He was linked to it. And for there to be that much going on with that much of digging up yards and concrete and whatnot, it seems like that. I don't know. He stuck out to me more than anyone else.
I actually agree. I think it's Ponte. He's dead. He seemed like a piece of shit.
I think
I'll
it was.
say
I think it was. I was on DeGrazia for a little while, but he just seems like a different kind of psychopath.
This guy had to be somewhat smart. This lawyer. And
DeGrazia just sounds like this. Like
you can't be connected to 9 victims.
Right.
And I mean, sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, I'm sure there are other people that are connected to a lot of different victims, and it just happens to be happenstance.
Sure.
This just seems way too much shit involved. The fact that he flies to Florida almost immediately, he's evasive the entire time when they're asking him questions.
And as we've been getting, by the way, at this point in the episode, I'd like to throw in, we have been getting some local tips from people that really know what's going on. We got a huge one with Brianna Maitland.
Which I don't even know about. Are you allowed to say it right now?
I am allowed to. I can say it once the episode ends. I can show you the messages.
Okay.
And it's very interesting.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that on a future podcast. We can update them about that tip. Maybe.
I don't
We'll
know if we
see.
legally can do that, but otherwise
Okay.
I'll just tell the boys.
Yeah.
Either way, where was I even just going with this?
Maybe someone has some information. Is that what you're trying to-
Maybe there's somebody out there that was growing up in the area at the time. Maybe there's an older person that knew these people or crossed paths with them.
I'm sure there's a bunch of rumors.
Was there murmur? There was the
Yeah.
murmuring happening around the town. We got that out of Vermont.
If there's any Marias from New Bedford, can you please reach out at least?
Well, also know that you're safe.
Yes.
So the other thing is, I think Ponte ends up being the guy.
It's hard to look away from him.
It is.
Yeah. Too much stuff. He's with these girls. He has social connections with them. He's doing drugs with them. He's sleeping with them. So it wouldn't even be a big deal if Rochelle's the first victim, or one of the other victims, like, oh, she went with Ponte. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a big deal because they all hang out together.
The one thing that takes me away from Ponte is the lack. Did he have like a history of violent behavior or just erratic behavior?
More erratic than anything.
Okay, so that's what takes me off it a little bit. Is like if this guy had a fucking problem where
you're also not violent until you're violent or until someone catches you.
I get that.
So if he does one, he just beats the piss out of Rochelle Dopriella is what seemed like happened. He just beat her to death.
Right.
Then he liked the rush or whatever it was, and then someone found out. Now they're all friends. Maybe they're like, okay, I know you did this, and then he ends up strangling one, and then now he starts to like it. I could see that happening as well. It could be a slippery slope.
I can see that. Yeah, you never know. There might have even been something that happened.
Maybe he's trying to clean up all the friend crew,
but
which is crazy too.
Also, here's another theory, real quick before we end this episode. Could he have done something by accident during a sex act and realized he liked it a lot and decided to run with it?
You're talking about the strangulation?
Yes. Did that flick a switch on and be like, oh, actually?
But even as Jack said earlier, it seems like it's an intimate thing.
Right.
He's friends with these girls. He's sleeping with these girls. There's some type of intimacy between them in a way. Maybe that's just what it is.
Maybe that's it. And with that being said, I think that's episode 7. whatever we want to call it, another episode.
Another episode.
Yeah, we don't number the episodes. It's another episode of The Search, the new Bedford Highway Killer. Thank you to our sponsor, Dave's Hot Chicken. Thank you to Toro Media for producing this one. Guys, the sign will be up soon, I promise. For myself, for Al, for producer Pat, for producer Jack, that's another episode. We will see you on the next one.